What's up, everybody? It's your girl Amarie from 404 Creators. And today we have the sincere, kind Josh Waters in the building today.
Love, love.
Yes,
Yes,
what's up
ma'am.
with
How you
you?
doing? I'm doing good.
Hey, I'm tip top.
Shout out. I like that. That was
Yeah,
dope. I'm happy to be here, man. Thank
yes,
y'all for having me on the show.
of course. We
Yes,
know we have to
ma'am.
start the show off with gratitude, so thank you so much for coming out.
Respect. Blessings.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm gonna get right to it.
All right.
Gelato.
Mm-hmm.
Like, tell me everything. What led up to it, all that good stuff.
Okay. So we're going to be honest here, right? 404 Creators.
Okay.
Gelato, obviously, is the last song that I released. I stumbled upon this record. I'm signed to Bandwidth as a production house.
Okay.
And so if you can imagine, there's so many records that's hitting my ears throughout the weeks, throughout the days. And Gelato was originally for another artist, right? I was a part of this creation process, but this song was originally for another artist who just decided they didn't want it.
Okay.
So I'm like, I'll take it. And we made a couple changes to make it fit me, but yeah, here we are. Gelato. Sweet like gelato.
Okay. So, do you feel like you make your music off of personal experiences or off of
Sometimes. I'll say sometimes the people that I work with know me well enough to so let me clear this up. Yes, I do write my own music, but sometimes we're in spaces where records that were already made make sense for what Josh Waters is, right? Which was
Okay.
kind of how Gelato happens, or happened. So yes, I do make my music specific to circumstances and scenarios and to myself. However, whenever I'm presented with opportunities to show up for other stories or scenarios, I'm capable of doing that too.
Okay, would
Yeah.
you prefer if you had the option to like make your music off of random events or solely off of your personal events, what would you do?
I need a little bit of both because I
Okay.
think just to tell my stories kind of handicaps the human experience. You know what I mean? It's like that's a perspective that only can be shared and agreed upon for those that have been through that. But I think when I tap into other spaces and other creative narratives, it allowed me to reach people outside of what I would just normally go directly to.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yes, it
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
So, okay, with that being said, so how did you get the promo? Where did that come from for Gelato?
Man, so we keeping it funky here, right? So that promo came from, like, I'm a lover boy, man. I was raised by my mom and my grandmother. My father passed when I was younger, so
Okay, sorry for your
respect.
loss.
Nah, thank you. I knew you was about to say that, nigga. Everything happens how it's supposed to, but I do receive that, right? So
Yes.
with that, my respect and appreciation for the woman has always been what it has been, and I never presented a certain image. Well, when I went to the table or to the drawing board with my team, we just decided, you know what, bro? It's not like this layer doesn't exist with Josh Waters. We just have never presented it, and so we just decided, how can we keep this simple, somewhat tasteful still, but like kind of meet the people where they at, give them what they want. And so we got like Gelato and a bunch of baddies.
Okay,
So,
okay.
yeah.
Hey, as long as you got baddies, you good. Everybody gonna love. They're gonna be like, ass, gelato.
Hey, that's
It
kind of
makes
what
sense.
happened.
Yeah.
That's literally how that
So
went
I
down.
see you trying to relate to the audience. Well, you are relating to the audience. So that's what's
Thank
up.
you. Yes, ma'am.
I feel like when an artist can make the listener actually relate and feel like they're a part of the town, whatever art you're creating,
Yeah.
then you know what you're doing.
Respect. Nah, thank you. Thank you.
Yes. So let's go back to your musical roots.
Mhm.
Do you feel like you would do anything different when you first started your music career?
You know what? I try my best to not live with regrets, man. So I'll tell you how it all started.
Okay.
Right. So I'm originally from Mississippi. I moved to Atlanta about 5 years ago. And when I came out here, I was blessed enough to be around certain people. You ever heard of this rapper named Big Crit?
Yes.
Big Crit's from Mississippi, and like he was opening certain doors for me, allowing me to just be in certain environments and spaces and opening me up, broadening my perspective, shall I say, right?
That's what's up.
And so all of those things I don't take for granted, nor would I change any of how that happened. That's actually how I ended up in the situation that I'm in now. This production entity was a part of the group of people that produced one of Crit's albums, and just one thing led to another.
Okay.
So would I do anything differently? No, I don't think so. I think every L was not a loss. It was always a lesson. So I wouldn't take away any of the things that I've learned and gained through the way that I came in. You know what I mean? So, nah, it happened the way it was supposed to.
That's what's up.
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
okay, how do you feel about the current state of R&B now, today?
Whew. How do I feel about the current state of R&B? You know what? I think R&B is in a great space.
Okay.
I think from the Grammys, there was a conversation, a huge conversation around the R&B genre at the Grammys, which I would personally say I hadn't seen in years. I think people are starting to care now whether or not the person that they're listening to can actually sing or not. They care about, did the R&B guy write this? And because I'm capable of like executing in all of these spaces, I'm actually excited about it. And not just myself, right? That's my ego. I say shout out to all of the guys and women that are effectively like carrying the genre right now before the conversation was back on it. So it's kind of dope to see people caring again about feelings and shit. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I agree. I do. Cause like all that hard like ghetto gangster rap, like that I mean it still is but
Yeah.
I definitely feel like more smooth, like loving music.
I agree with that. I think like no slight to trap music, right? I think there's a space for everything. My problem with trend is I firmly stand on the fact or the belief that there's a space for everything. When something becomes a trend, it almost like X's out everything else that still exists, but only to those people that actually care about it. Because it's not the trend, it's not being talked about in interviews. The interviewer don't ask about it. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Right.
for me as a person who's been doing R&B pretty much my entire life, it's kind of, you hear people say history repeats itself. It's
Yeah.
wild to actually be able to see it come back full circle.
Okay. Do you like performing live?
Man, I live to perform live, man.
Okay.
So like, not to make this extra deep and shit, but like I battled a lot. Depression, suicidal shit coming up or whatever.
Okay.
But performing is that thing that like keeps me sane, bro. Like, yep. I enjoy performing live. It's
Yeah.
where I get to exchange my energy. Just like I enjoy this conversation that we having, because it's a genuine, it's there's an intention here for us to exchange something. You want to know something about me, and I'm actually interested enough to answer these questions from an authentic space. We're exchanging energy here, right?
Yeah.
But so when I'm performing, it's that. But if it's 10 people in the crowd or a couple hundred, um, I'm actually in a space to where I get to send out a frequency, send out a message, and I'll do that with such conviction that it always it come back to me in a way that
Okay.
sustains me until the next performance. So
I
yeah,
love that.
I live to perform. Yeah.
So, okay, what type of would you prefer like a tiny desk performance or like a wild, crazy, like rock star, 2 million people in the crowd?
You
Like,
know, that's the dream.
okay,
As much of a like R&B sultry type of guy I am, I love hip hop. So my shows are high energy. I'm the R&B singer like early Bobby Brown. I'm looking for that speaker or that thing to jump up on, and it's like the shock value. When I show up, it's like, does he rap or does he? But yeah, nah, I live for like to be a rock star singer. So yeah.
okay.
Tiny desk performances are cool. Let me answer your question with this. I appreciate and welcome all types and forms of performances. However, my favorite to do is where I can just go crazy.
Elaborate on go crazy.
Like I'm a true entertainer.
So you want to like jump in the crowd? Or you
I'm
wanna-
one of them, but I'm an
Okay.
R&B singer. But like y'all hear me? I'm a true entertainer. If you want to see a show, book yours truly. But nah, it's really like that on stage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I need to book me a show then.
You
I need
sure
to see
do.
what's up.
You really,
Look.
it's like that. I'm trying to tell you.
Oh my goodness. So, okay, what have you ever like performed outside the country?
I haven't. Nah, I've never been outside of the country yet.
Not
I
yet.
haven't performed outside of the country yet.
Okay.
But yeah, I think the next time we have an interview or some type of something, I'll be able to answer that question differently.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm gonna keep that.
Respect.
Yes. So that's between us. Next
Exactly.
time you better have been somewhere.
Exactly.
What first country would you love to go
Jamaica.
to? Jamaica.
Yeah, and I feel
Okay.
like that low key might be cliche. Everybody want to go out to
It's
Jamaica.
not cliche because I didn't. That's not my first choice.
Or like Tulum or some shit. I see
Okay.
everybody going to Mexico or Jamaica.
Okay.
I want to go to Jamaica, man, because I don't trust Ancestry, right? And then I just saw some folks buy that company, so I'm glad I never sent my DNA in. But I feel close to like Rastas or like
Wait.
people of African descent in general. And so I would love to go to Jamaica just for that feel of what I think home would be like.
Well, something is like pulling your spirit towards
See,
Jamaica. So
yeah,
maybe
I gotta go see
you
what it's
gotta go
about.
see.
For sure.
I mean, you could just do research with your family. Have you ever thought about doing that?
Them
Like-
they like Indian. I think I'm between Indian descent Jamaican descent, I don't know. But when I'm around my Jamaican like I resonate with their lifestyle, their way of belief, just everything about that. So I'm interested to see what
Okay.
that's like over there.
So you said somebody just bought
You
Ancestry.com,
ain't see that?
but okay, no, I didn't
It's
see
crazy.
it. But I'm saying,
Yeah.
what does that have to do with them not getting like the right information? Because it's like if somebody buy McDonald's, they still gonna give you a McDonald's burger is gonna taste the same at every McDonald's. Well, I mean, maybe not every McDonald's, but for the majority, every McDonald's is going to have the same McDonald's burger. So why can't the Ancestry.com have the same?
Well, I didn't say that they couldn't. You know what I'm saying?
So why do you feel like it
something
could be
about it? Because you said my spirit is being pulled to Jamaica, right?
right?
Something about my being is disrupted by the clip that I saw informing us about the company that purchased Ancestry's information and things of that nature. No slight, because it could just be a smart business move. I don't want to make it more than what it got to be. When I saw the clip, though, it definitely just alarmed me in a way that's like, I'm glad I didn't send my DNA in and like do this shit.
So, okay, you said your spirit told you. Do you know what your spirit? So,
See.
is your spirit and your intuition the same thing to you?
We could say that. I guess so.
Right?
To a
'Cause,
certain degree. Yeah.
like for religious people, like the Holy Spirit
See.
is your intuition.
100%.
I believe so.
I would say so. I would go ahead and say yes, right? And if we're not right here in that answer, feel free to DM, reach out to us, and rectify that. But I would answer you today with yes.
Okay, and
Yeah.
I'm going to agree with you. So, do you know what that sounds like?
Hmm.
Like all the voices in your head, because you have a lot. You have the mad voice, like
I like this.
you have the sad voice, like
Yeah.
But then you have your intuition, like I told you, like what to do. Like what does it sound like to you?
I think it sounds like all of those voices. You as a person has to figure out which one is the most accurate throughout your decision making.
I feel like it's the most calm one, the one that's like
Maybe.
don't do that.
But I mean, maybe.
But what does it sound like to you?
It doesn't. It's not always calm. That's what I'm saying. So it's this gut thing for me. It's like this feels right or this doesn't feel okay. It's like being out in an environment in Atlanta and it's like, you know what? I should leave here. And then 30 minutes later you get to the crib and you get on ATL Scoop and you like, damn, they done lit the place up type of thing.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's like literally learning how to be able to hear those voices or differentiate between where's this coming from? Is this intuition? Is this the Most High? Is this God speaking to me? Or am I being tricked? The enemy learn from your mistakes too. So sometimes certain shit can show up the way you need it to get you to do certain things. So I think, again, I think it takes you figuring out which one of those voices is the most accurate for your circumstance and situation. But yeah.
You really said something when you said the enemy learns from your mistakes too. I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Because the whole time I'm like, I'm getting stronger and I am, but so is the enemy.
You feel me? It's like
Both
he been
parties.
living with you too. So it's like all that devices, bro. Like my things that I try to stay away from, he always try to find a way to like reposition them in my life or some way, some form of fashion. You feel me? And so then it's me having to tap into which voice I need to be listening to be able to tell me that's not the move. So
What's your favorite voice?
that's an interesting question. Just the right one. That's not a favorite. I think you gotta tap into.
You said something when you said that. Okay, the right one. But sometimes the right one. Okay, go ahead.
Nah, I think this is a matter of you spending time with self and like, I guess picking, cause I don't hear them as voices more than it's like, that's why I keep saying it's a practice. I think you have to tap into which one of them voices makes sense for what you're doing. And I think pick one, right? And you'll find out if this was right and why was it right? Why was it wrong? And then pick the next one. Why was it right? Was it wrong? And then I think you'll come to some type of interesting conclusion there. But I just follow what resonates with my heart.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I agree with you.
Respect.
I just feel like maybe I'm saying it like I have voices. So maybe I seem like I'm the crazy one.
No, not at all. I'm not saying that. There's no right or wrong here.
No,
I'm just trying to
joking.
get us to
I'm
all
just
right,
talking
cool.
shit.
I was like,
I'm
ooh.
joking.
Yeah.
No,
Nah,
okay,
for sure.
cool. So, okay, your relationship with bandwidth, right?
Bandwidth, yeah.
How, tell me about that.
How did it come about?
Yes.
So shout out to Willpower, man. He's the producer that I met. I was in this Big Crit session one day, and he was working on Forever Is a Mighty Long Time, and Willpower was executively producing that body of work. And so at that time, my manager, John Griggs, and one of Big Crit's younger brothers was managing me at the time, so we ended up in that session. Long story short, that day I heard Willpower talking about opening up a studio, which didn't exist yet. And so fast forward a year and a half, 2 years, I got my first budget of like 10 grand to go make a project or whatever. And so my manager and I, we was like over the like trap scenes in studios. I'm an R&B dude. Every studio I came to, there's like sticks in the hallways, niggas walking around just on dumb shit, bro. It's like, we in the studio, my nigga. If you gotta protect yourself here, you need to find some other shit to do, right? But anyway, I made a post just like, yo, I'm looking for a more like laid back, peaceful environment to record. And shout out to my homie Cortland from Jackson. He reached out and was like, yo, you should come to Willpower Spot. And I'm like, light bulb went off. I'm like, yo, you remember Willpower was saying he was gonna open up a studio? He did. So we took that budget we had, we started booking time, like consistent time there to do my honey project. And the logic in our minds was, if we go to this guy's studio, perhaps we'll run into him, he'll remember us, and we can goddamn get on, basically, in our mind. And that's kind of what happened. So we ran into Willpower. He's like, man, y'all not signed? The last time I saw y'all, what the fuck going on? I'm like, nope, I ain't signed. He was like, so what do you need? We like guidance. He was taken aback by the answer, and he was just like, well, nigga, I got an artist development program, and it costs $3 a month. I'm like, whoa, nigga. We poor. We come from Mississippi. Mississippi, bro. We ain't got this kind of money, dog.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like $3,000 a month.
That's you know what I'm saying, for 6 months. I think that totaled up to be like 18 grand. But my manager and I, we was like, look, bro, we trying to get on. We not from Atlanta. We ain't know what the next step for where we was, but this felt like it. So we took a drive to St. Louis, man, and we asked somebody that we believed in and that we felt believed in us enough to invest this money.
Okay.
And we took our ass to St. Louis. We met them with a plan. It made sense to them, and they invested. So for 6 months, I did an artist development program there.
That's what's up.
And here we are. After doing that, they courted me for a small period of time, and then I signed with them. So,
okay, cool.
Yeah.
So how far do you see success in your music career?
What I'm doing is purpose driven. You know what I mean? So I can't see how far it is. I think it's endless. I'm just here to like fulfill that purpose, bro. Like it was something put on me, on the inside of me, and I'm just trying to carry that out. You know what I mean? So I see me in the arenas, selling the stadiums and shit like that out. But ultimately, I just want to die empty. So whatever it is, the Most High God want me to do, whether that be stopping at 1,000-seater or going to a 50,000 seat venue, I just want to empty that clip. So, yeah, whatever.
Okay, and that's what you mean by dying empty. Like, okay,
yeah,
that's the first time I've heard that. That's super different.
Respect.
Yeah, that's like deep. I mean, I feel like everybody does die empty though.
Okay, I respect that.
I feel like because it's destined. Like you're always gonna be put on earth to do what you were supposed to do.
But do we always do it though?
You have to.
Is that true?
Yes, because even though because you can also change your future and change your life too, but it's already written. Like the type of person you are is already written. Right. Like if you're a serial killer, you're gonna be destined to be a serial killer. You get what I'm saying? Some shit's gonna happen where you're gonna be like, fuck this. True that. I'm about to just be a serial killer. If you're not meant to be a serial killer, you ain't gonna never think, one day I just decided to,
I respect that. 110%, right? And I actually see how you could arrive at that conclusion. And this next statement isn't to combat that. I just think that as humans, this is what separates us from animals, is choice.
Yes.
With the bird, perhaps that's the case because all you can do is be a bird. All you can understand is how to be a bird. But with the human, you are actually, that's what makes us different than them. You have choice to either honor the purpose in which the Most High God put inside of you and investigate that to ensure that you do that and fulfill that shit, or not. You could be like a fucking bum and just totally ignore your purpose and ignore all of the things that the God put on you and in you, all that shit. So it's like you could or you could not. But as a human, that's the one thing that makes us in the reflection or image of God. It's like you got a choice to do this that way or completely fuck it up. So I'm just trying not to fuck it up.
But that's still, I agree. But that's still in the same character, like how birds can only be birds. Humans can only be humans. That's what we're humans beings. We're still supposed to be.
Respect. Yes, ma'am. I completely.
No, don't say yes, ma'am.
Nah.
Like I'm saying. No, I wanna go back and forth. I like this conversation. Like I agree with what you're saying. I'm just trying to play the devil's advocate just to see like what you got to say.
I mean, I just think but this is what I'm trying to get at with the whole choice thing, right? The bird, you know how you're making...
Doesn't have our mindset.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you're a 23-year-old woman.
Yeah.
And I asked
Why
you,
you
so...
put my business
My
out there?
bad, y'all.
I'm 18.
She was 23 when we met. No, I'm talking about y'all. When I met you, you was 23.
Right.
And so on that day, you was telling me how you wanted to invest your money in all of these different things.
Right.
Well, I meet 23-year-old women all the time, and that's not necessarily their perspective. Now, it doesn't mean that they're not privy to the information that you are, because this shit on Instagram. I see somebody talking about investments every fucking day. However, you decided, you made a choice to say, I'm going to take the next steps to see what that looks like for me. How do I get to X, Y, and Z?
Right.
I'm telling you, I promise you, every 23-year-old woman, it's no slight to y'all that aren't thinking along these lines. But every person isn't thinking that way. So let's say when y'all get 30, for those that were not thinking how you was at 23, y'all won't be in the same position. And that's not to say you're better than them or lesser, whatever the fuck. It's just like you made a decision that's going to put you in a place that's a lot different than the bird who's, no matter what your logic is, make a nest, give birth, get food, do this shit again. Ooh,
Right.
That's it. And that's as far as that can go for you. The bird ain't on the tree just like, damn, if I could be a human again. It's like, nah, you're a bird.
Oh my goodness.
You know
Okay, yes. What if they really think that?
You know,
we don't know anything.
We don't know, actually. So you right.
I'm just I'm just trying to give you a hard
I
time.
love it. It's okay. I love it.
So I love your hair so much.
Thank you.
How long have you been having your locks?
10 years now.
That's what's up.
Yes, ma'am.
So
You gonna grow some?
I do, but I'm gonna be honest. I want to wait till I get to a certain place in life to officially just grow it.
I see.
I want to be at the point in life to where I can literally do anything I want to do. Like if I want to get tattoos over my whole body, I can't. Yeah, nobody can tell
Just
me.
after the investments done paid off.
Yes, exactly.
Respect.
Yes, we gonna put life into that. Yes, thank you. Yes, so that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
And right now, I feel like it's just best to be as versatile as possible as I'm meeting new people.
Respect.
So,
yeah.
But I love locks. Honestly, if I could get them now, I would. I wish I was at the point in my life to where I could get them right now.
You are.
I am, but I still just
respect though.
Yeah,
I just want to throw that out there.
I know
you are.
I am.
Yes, ma'am.
I appreciate you.
Love.
Artists today can't just be artists and get up there and sing. They have to kind of know what's going on with their own business. So how did you know when it's time to start making that transition and looking at the business aspect of the music business?
Man, so shout out to my moms. I had a great mother. As I was coming up in music, I used to be signed to an independent label in high school here in Atlanta. So my mom's legit would let me skip school, bro, and drive to Atlanta, Georgia, my junior and senior year of high school. And so when I would come out here, I was working with people, if you can imagine, the music scene, especially back then, the music scene was practically non-existent in Mississippi. So I was like coming out here, soaking up what Atlanta was, and then taking that back home. And so the people that I was coming out here with, because I was still a kid, this was like that mindless behavior era too, I'll say. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So to kind of just put that in an ideal space, right, of the mentality back then. But my mom, she was making sure that I just wasn't the dude that knew how to sing. She like, you need to understand your business. And so the people that was coming, like bringing me up, they had me involved in it. It weren't many conversations that were being had about the business of Josh Waters that I wasn't involved in. So even if there was ever something that I'm like, what is that? They always made me privy to the information. You know what I mean? So I just had great people around me from start to finish, down to being with Bandwidth now. They involve me in my business, or decisions aren't made without consulting with Josh first, type of thing. So man, I'll say early on, this is the one piece for artists watching this. I think people overlook the fact that this is a music industry, right? No different than if you sell tires, it's a tire industry, and your job is to figure out how that works and how to insert yourself to make sure that you're presenting people with the tires that they need, and how to make them want to buy the tires from you versus the next person who's doing the exact same thing. It's the same thing. You go on a strip, you see the food industry works. McDonald's is on this side, Wendy's is on this side, no different than like an Atlantic or Interscope. We're all in industries of our own. So when you're in the music one, I guess my advice would be to people to like study the actual industry, the climate of it. It's ever changing, it's ever growing, and surround yourself with people that are talking business talk and not just like fluff type shit. You know what I mean? And I always had those type of people around me. So yeah.
Do you have anything you want to say to those that are chasing their dreams?
That's a great question. What would I tell people that are chasing your dreams? It's gonna be hard. I feel like, I want to tell you that it's gonna be hard, but you can do it, right? I want to serve as the fine print. You know, we see commercials and they have the people talking mad fast, and it's all the shit that'll kill you if you take this shit, but it's so fast that it go over your head. Okay. I want to slow that part down and say, chasing your dreams will be difficult. Chasing your dreams will come with trials and tribulations, but it's all designed to get you to the vision that you saw before you decided to go out and chase this thing. You know what I mean? So it's like, never forget the promises that God made to you. That's what I would say.
Okay,
you know
that's what's up.
Yeah.
Okay. And where can everybody reach you?
Yeah, Josh Waters Music on all social media platforms, and wherever you stream music, just search Josh Waters, and a little ugly dude with locks will pop up.
Okay, and that's that on that. I'm your girl Amarie from 4 Creators. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Shouts out to your boy Josh Waters, and we out this thing.